The following is a presentation of KNOX Sports.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cushman Field and our coverage of Eastern Dakota Conference soccer tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports this evening at Cushman with the sun over us, but threatening clouds to our north and south with rain swirling around us. We'll have Grand Forks Central at home with a 1-0 record to take on the 2-1 Fargo Shanley Deacons tonight. The Knights back at home after a season-opening victory. They knocked off West Fargo a week ago. Not quite a week ago, last Tuesday, by a final score of 8-0. Very impressive performance for Grand Forks Central against a team that's struggling a little bit right now in the Eastern Dakota Conference in the form of the Packers. Tonight, they're going to get Fargo Shanley, who's played some good ones thus far, including a matchup with Red River that we had back on Thursday. And the Deacons roll in with a 2-1 record after picking up a win in their last matchup, now with 6 points in the Eastern Dakota Conference. But there's a bit of intrigue in this one tonight, and the reason being is that Fargo Shanley may be without some hands. We've been told through the grapevine that the Deacons are missing a handful of players that they would normally rely on for contributions, and it's due to dual activity type players. Tonight, Fargo Shanley has, I believe it's either a musical or a music performance, something that's going on at Fargo Shanley, maybe a dramatic performance, but it's taken some of the players that are in the lineup for the Deacons and pushed them to a different activity. And obviously, when you're in your high school, you certainly want those dual activity type of players and students that are going to contribute in a lot of different ways. There's just only so many dates that you can work in throughout the course of a year, and every once in a while conflicts happen. Now, does Central have an opportunity to take advantage of that? Well, we're going to find out throughout the course of the night. But this will be a pivotal matchup. From what we understand, there are 5 teams in the Eastern Dakota Conference that could challenge realistically for those 4 spots that will come out of the East into the state tournament, and both of these teams are among them. So it should be a good one coming up tonight between the 1-0 Knights and the 2-1 Deacons. And we bring it to you tonight courtesy of our premier sports partners. Rivards Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks. Now is the time to talk to them about their products at rivards.com. You can find all of their products listed, and you can talk with them at their mixing plant that they have right here in Grand Forks at Rivards Turf and Forage. They keep records of all of their seed samples, and they make sure that they keep the science on their side. Whether you're trying to lure in that big buck or beautify, they have you covered with a lot of products, and they can change up their products to meet the different growing conditions that we have in our area. Again, find them at rivards.com. And Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks. Whether you're hauling for fun or you're hauling for work, Grand Trailer Sales has you covered with the top-notch service that you're looking for at Grand Trailer Sales in regards to getting that trailer up and running, keeping it up and running. And if it's time to upgrade that trailer system, they have every make and model of trailer that you're looking for on their lot. That service and parts department, second to none. Grand Trailer Sales is located on Highway 2 East in East Grand Forks, and they are another of our premier sports partners that we have for you tonight. The weather for this one's dicey. You know, just as we said the sun was out, there is a very low-hanging white cloud moving right over Cushman Field right now. You can't see it on your screen, but it certainly is something that is a sight to see in this situation. Really, you don't see anything like that very often, and so for that to be the case at this point is really strange. It kind of gives you an eerie feel. It's almost like rain that isn't quite hitting the ground at this point, but it's one of those things that is kind of causing at least a couple of folks kind of look the other way or look a different way and see what's going on here in this matchup. So we could have some interesting weather by the time we get through this one tonight, but we're looking forward to what should be a great night here at Cushman Field between the Grand Forks Central Knights and the Fargo Shanley Deacons. We're going to take a break in our pregame report. We'll come back. We'll run down some of the players to watch in this one, set you up with the standings in the league, get ready for our starting lineups, and continue with our coverage of high school soccer. And we're back with more of it in a couple of moments here on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. Stay with us. We're back with more after this.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Plus, they also carry a full line of ice melter products for your home or business. To check out all their products, go to rivards.com.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, trade, or rent a trailer, stop into East Grand Forks. GrandTrailersSales.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. They have pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. Go to SprayAdvantage.com.
Picture yourself at Lake Region State College. With faculty and staff here to help you succeed, we know you by name. Picture your success as you get hands-on ready for the workforce or transfer on to earn your bachelor's degree. Lake Region State College. We change lives.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always...
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com. Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Apologies for being away there for a moment. We had a technical issue going on here in the press box, and here we're getting set for Grand Forks Central to go up against Fargo Shanley and high school soccer this evening in a matchup in the Eastern Dakota Conference that will be pivotal. We bring you back to our pregame report that we have for you tonight. Our pregame report brought to you this evening by True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with locations all throughout the Red River Valley. And our coverage is brought to you this evening as well by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. True North Equipment, the home for those John Deere products that you've come to know generationally throughout our region. They're located in 10 different locations throughout the Red River Valley, ready to offer you service, support throughout the upcoming season, and obviously anything new that you would need in machinery they can talk to you about at True North Equipment. And Signature Graphics and Apparel, some of the things they can do with the new opportunities that we have in graphics will really wow you. The custom etching that they have, where they can take materials and affix those right to pieces of clothing. You see it happen right in front of your eyes, and it gives you a unique look with your logo that maybe you didn't expect. They also have custom embroidery, silk printing, and they can offer you vinyl signage at Signature Graphics and Apparel. They bring you our pregame report here tonight as well. Grand Forks Central set to take on Fargo Shanley in our coverage tonight. Let's take a look at Drive for the Title and run you through where we're at in our Eastern Dakota Conference standings. Coming into tonight, Drive for the Title is brought to you by Toys for Trucks. They are your car, truck, and Jeep accessory supercenter in Grand Forks. And you can see Red River, Shanley tied for first place after the first week in the EDC. Now, they play for points in the Eastern Dakota Conference, very similar to what they do in hockey. In fact, it's 10 points, or rather 3 points, for a win inside the league. And Grand Forks Red River came out of their first week feeling pretty good about the work that they had been able to get done. Wins over West Fargo Cheyenne and also Fargo Shanley. And as you take a look at these standings on your screen, folks, the word that we're getting is that there are 5 teams in this mix that could legitimately challenge for a spot in the state tournament. They're all stacked up in the top 5 there. Red River, Shanley, Davies, Central, Cheyenne. And right now, Red River coming up with wins over Cheyenne and Shanley gives them a little bit of a leg up to start the season at 2-0 with 6 points. Shanley 2-1 with 6 points. Their loss was to Red River. Fargo Davies 1-0 on this season. We understand a key injury could impact Fargo Davies' season throughout. Central also 1-0 as Cheyenne split their first week. They're 1-1. South 1-2. North is 0-2. And West Fargo 0-2. And so right now 6 points apiece for Red River Shanley, sitting on top of the league. Davies Central 3 points without a loss. Cheyenne South 3 points each with losses at this point in the year. We're the only game in town tonight as far as soccer is concerned. Shanley here at Central. And then tomorrow it's a full slate. Central will go to South. Shanley will be at home against West Fargo Cheyenne. North comes here to Grand Forks Red River tomorrow night, and Fargo Davies will play at West Fargo, and that will be the night coming up tomorrow night. The matches to watch tomorrow night, Central at South and Cheyenne at Shanley, and of course Fargo North's got a pretty good group of female athletes. They could put it together on any night and give Grand Forks Red River a couple of issues to work with here at Cushman Field coming up tomorrow night as well. But that's a look at Drive for the Title. Drive for the Title is brought to you by Toys for Trucks. They are your car, truck, and Jeep accessory supercenter in Grand Forks with a full showroom of custom wheels and rims to show you to bring your vehicle up to that next level for the upcoming summer driving season. If you've got a vehicle that's worth the next step up, then you're looking for Toys for Trucks. So stop and see them at 6105 Gateway. They also have a full line of performance tires, and really every performance tire, each brand that you would be looking for, they have it for you at Toys for Trucks. So don't miss your opportunity to step up for the summer driving season and take your vehicle to the next level at Toys for Trucks. They're ready to work with you to get that vehicle up a notch. Our pregame report continues, and it's brought to you tonight by True North Equipment, true to your values, and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the region in the Red River Valley. And it's brought to you tonight by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. Up next, we'll take a look at those starting lineups and get ready to go. Also run you through some of the players to watch in this one. That's next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Sports.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new again. Big or small, at Finest Auto Trim, we can cover it all. To check out our services, go to finestautotrim.com or stop out on Demers Avenue in Grand Forks to get your quote today.
When you think breakfast, you think Perkins Restaurant. Whether you keep it simple with a fresh-baked mammoth muffin and coffee or go all out and try the tremendous 12 breakfast, Perkins Restaurant is your breakfast place. Perkins Restaurant and a great breakfast make the perfect team. Since 1972, Jarrell's Sports Center and Hockey World has provided year-round sporting goods, apparel, and of course, hockey equipment and training tools. You'll also find they have a state-of-the-art skate sharpening machine to give you the edge you need for anything sports. Stop into Jarrell's and Hockey World.
Residents of the Midwest are known for being self-starters and getting the job done. But when it comes to electrical work, it's best to call a professional. Hi, this is Steve from Bergstrom Electric. It's true that there's a certain glory to accomplishing a task on your own, but it's our experience that not only will save you time, but also the headaches that go along with home improvement projects. A simple phone call to Bergstrom Electric can make all the difference. At Bergstrom Electric, the light does shine brighter.
As guys, we all love our trucks. That's why Toys for Trucks is your headquarters for all things truck. They carry an amazing selection of rims and tires, plus floor mats, tonneau covers, hitches, plows, and even Excalibur remote car starters for any car, truck, or SUV. And the best part? They can install everything for your truck right at their location. Stop out at Toys for Trucks in Grand Forks to customize your ride, or check them out at toysfortrucks.com.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, no matter what the size, PS Doors offers the proper service for you. Get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Add a pop of color and excitement to your next celebration with Balloons by Misty. Their one-of-a-kind balloon design skills and creativity will make your event unforgettable. It's always a party at Balloons by Misty. Visit balloonsbymisty.com today.
Franson Bank and Trust in Grand Forks is a community bank that caters to businesses, farms, and consumers. They provide customized financial solutions with personalized customer service. Let Franson Bank give you the banking relationship you deserve. Real people, real results.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and 4-H Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports tonight here at Cushman Field, where we get set for Grand Forks Central and Fargo Shanley to clash here tonight, and what should be a good matchup inside the Eastern Dakota Conference this evening. Take a look at our matchup with our game fuel that's brought to you tonight by Circle K. Circle K with now 4 locations in Grand Forks, including their new location on South Washington in Midtown, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They're ready to serve you. They have a car wash, a great beverage bar, and a very robust frozen food section as well. And they're ready to take you through anything that you're looking for at Circle K in Grand Forks, bringing you the players to watch here this evening. Well, as you can see on your screen for Fargo Shanley, 3 returning all Eastern Dakota Conference players, including Molly Flaherty and Katie Schanzenbach. Now, Nora Roney in the middle will not be in the starting lineup tonight. She may be one of those players that's missing for Fargo Shanley this evening. And in the matchup against Red River, Schanzenbach was injured early, just 2 minutes into the matchup. And so Schanzenbach didn't have a chance to really play a lot, and that could have affected Fargo Shanley's defense that night. So we'll see what it looks like with their defensive look with her in the game if she stays in the entire time. For Grand Forks Central, Lauren Reardon, an all-conference player returning. Madison McLaughlin, an all-conference player returning. Both have been on the scoreboard in that matchup with West Fargo. And Aubrielle Kramer had a pair of goals for Grand Forks Central in their matchup against West Fargo to jump onto the scoreboard as well. And so in the long run, those 3 players and many more, there's some depth on this soccer team for Grand Forks Central. We're going to pause for our national anthem. We are back with more, including a look at our starting lineups and our keys to the matchup next.
Add a pop of color and excitement to your next celebration with Balloons by Misty. Their one-of-a-kind balloon design skills and creativity will make your event unforgettable. It's always a party at Balloons by Misty. Visit balloonsbymisty.com today.
Residents of the Midwest are known for being self-starters and getting the job done. But when it comes to electrical work, it's best to call a professional. Hi, this is Steve from Bergstrom Electric. It's true that there's a certain glory to accomplishing a task on your own, but it's our experience that not only will save you time, but also the headaches that go along with home improvement projects. A simple phone call to Bergstrom Electric can make all the difference. At Bergstrom Electric, the light does shine brighter.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer. Since 1972, Jarrell's Sports Center and Hockey World has provided year-round sporting goods, apparel, and of course, hockey equipment and training tools. You'll also find they have a state-of-the-art skate sharpening machine to give you the edge you need for anything sports. Stop into Jarrell's and Hockey World. When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335. Your local Circle K and Holiday Station stores are proud to support high school activities. Stop by the new Circle K location at 1316 South Washington Street for not only gas, but a wide array of hot and cold food, snacks for everyone, and a car wash. Open 24/7, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to our coverage of Eastern Dakota Conference soccer tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network at KNOX Live Sports. A big thank you tonight for our abbreviated pregame report coming to you tonight. Brought to you this evening by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And also brought to you this evening by True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. We're getting ready for Grand Forks Central to kick things off tonight, and as we get started, we'll get ready with our starting lineups for tonight's matchup. We'll also take you through the keys to the game this evening as we are able to tonight, so stay with us for that. Keys to the game brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World, still to come as we wrap up our pregame report this evening. The Knights are going to be in the maroon uniforms, as you would probably expect. Fargo Shanley in the white uniforms on the road, and you can see that shadows being cast across the field right now as we'll get to that point in the year where as we start, got the sun going down in that western sky. We've got chilly conditions tonight. I mean, this one, all the other sports decided not to play, but soccer apparently, they are the, iron players, you could say, in the group. And a distance kickoff comes for Grand Forks Central to get this one started this evening, as they even get it started about a minute early tonight. So we always like it when we're punctual when it comes down to our start time. 44 degrees right now in Grand Forks as this one gets started. So we've got some tough fans that are here tonight, and we've got some tough players that are on the field as well to get this one going tonight for an Eastern Dakota Conference soccer clash as Fargo Shanley comes away with it and then loses the ball beyond the foul boundary. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight. First of all, for Fargo Shanley, their starting goalkeeper will be Ashlyn Roach. The starting defenders, Riley Seaver, who had a nice matchup against Grand Forks Red River, Katie Schanzenbach, who played just a couple of minutes against Red River and then went out with injury, and Rosemary Tingley at defense. The midfielders will be Hudson Hofer, Danica Clausen, Carly Holstein, and Annie Yablonsky. Starting forwards tonight, Molly Flaherty, Emma Rorick, and Kinsey Julik steps into a forward spot tonight for Fargo Shanley as well. And for Grand Forks Central this evening, starting goalkeeper will be Haley Anderson Tibiatowski. Starting defenders are May Dickelman, Madison McLaughlin, and also Emily Common. The starting midfielders will be Lauren Reardon, Aubrielle Kramer, Kelsey McLaughlin, Charlie Calick, and Rowan Olmstead. The starting forwards tonight, J.C. Reardon and Lauren Malott for Grand Forks Central. Starting lineups tonight are brought to you by Franson Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. FransonBank.com. Central with a crosser and a head play. Ball comes back out high. It's be kept up front, and a long distance strike that time from J.C. Reardon, rather Lauren Reardon. We'll send it in, and that'll be covered up by Ashlyn Roach, who wears the lime green uniform tonight for Fargo Shanley, and Roach will drop kick it away. Knights and Deacons getting started here this evening. Long approach out of the goal for Anderson Tibiakowski for Grand Forks Central. That one came rolling in, and she wanted to avoid maybe getting stuck on a bit of a one-on-one matchup at that point. Knights with Rowan Olmstead pushing the ball up the field. Long run to get to it for Malott off the right corner. Look, a little bit of a crosser there, defended well. And we'll see the Deacons sending it out with Riley Seaver. Let's take a look at our keys to the game tonight. They're brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. And for Grand Forks Central, one of the big keys for tonight's matchup is to be aware of Shanley's physical game. And they did get very physical with Grand Forks Red River, and they were allowed to do so in that matchup. The Rough Rider fans looking for some calls, the bench looking for some calls, and they really allowed it to be a physical night that night, and Shanley seemed fine playing that way. And then taking advantage of some striker depth up front, they've got the opportunity with a number of different names that are interchangeable between midfielders and forwards to really make something happen for Central on the offensive side. For Fargo Shanley, looking at the lineup impacts that come into play here, they're missing an all-conference player out of their lineup tonight due to some other activities that are going on, so obviously that factors in. They're going to have to replace some players in a couple of key spots, so that'll be a challenge. And then being patient offensively. They've got the midfield depth to move the ball up the field, so being patient offensively. Those are the keys to the game, and they're brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Off a corner kick, a scrum in front of the net, And the Knights trying to control this. This comes back to Malott, and a long-range attempt that came up high from Aubrielle Kramer ends up being deflected, and Shanley will send this back out to the midfield. Ball way over on the far side of the field for Central, and Madison McLaughlin looking to run it down for the Knights. Sends it back up the far side. Olmsted taking a look, but this one goes away, and Carly Holstein, who had a big factor in the game for Fargo Shanley when we last saw them last week, steps up and sends this ball up the field. Rorick with a strike, and a little ground ball into Anderson Tibiatowski, who will take it off a bounce and make the save for Grand Forks Central. Even so far, and a little bit more of a fast break type of approach. Both teams have been able to get up in the other's end rather quickly. J.C. Reardon trying to handle a ball, and we'll see a whistle. And it would appear that we're going to see Shanley with a throw-in off the right side. Tingley will throw it in. It works back to Hudson Hofer. Hofer defended well by Aubrielle Kramer. Tripped up a little bit. They'll play through that. And Kelsey McLaughlin sends it back to middle. Shanley returns. Ball back out onto the right side of the field. Strike by Rorick. That's knocked away by some pressure from a defender. I believe it's McLaughlin. That got over to defender. And now that ball turned right off the sideline. Really nice defensive play by Central's Emily Common, rather. Common ends up sending the ball beyond the boundary, but a nice defensive play by Common to turn that ball around with the possession coming from Emma Rorick. Rorick was good early for Shanley in the matchup against Red River. Then she kind of dissipated throughout the course of the second half. We really didn't see her. Long-range roller from Shanley that will roll beyond the back line. And so the Knights will have it in their own land, looking to free kick it out. Madison McLaughlin will step in to send this one out for Grand Forks Central. And McLaughlin sends a line drive up the middle of the field. And we'll see Charlie Callett get back to it for Central and play one back to the right side. Malott trying to make her move up the field. Comes back to the middle of the field. Has a bit of an opening to work with. Leaves this back. Play back up the field. Coming from the midfield spot that time from Charlie Callett. She had an opportunity to make a pass. It got deflected. Shanley was able to get back defensively. Sent it back right side. Common was over for it. And then Rorick has her pocket picked by Lauren Reardon. Reardon comes out looking near side to find Kelsey McLaughlin in the midfield, but that broken up. Deacons return with Hudson Hofer. Crosser that Kramer will knock down. Ball played up in the air. Back towards the near side. This one got by, and now a streak up the middle of the field for Tingley, and that ball ends up being deflected out of bounds. Actually, correction, it was Hofer that got free behind the defense, and this is deflected beyond the near boundary. Now we'll see a corner coming up for Fargo Shanley. So the Deacons will attempt a corner from the right side of the field. And a chance for some offense here as Rorick puts this into play. Out in front of the net, ends up being sent to the far side of the field. Aubrielle Kramer going step for step with one of the Deacons on the far side. It ends up rolling beyond that left sideline for the Deacons, and the Deacons will maintain possession with a throw-in. So the Deacons will throw in. We're scoreless on the all-true scoreboard. And about to enter the 8th minute of the opening half of play. Ball deflected towards the boundary again. And this time it'll be Central's throw-in. Our throw-ins tonight brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier for ag tires in the region. And brought to you this evening by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned promotional shop in Grand Forks. Knights come out with possession. They've got some numbers working up the field but couldn't possess. Pass goes beyond the far boundary. Long-range run coming out there for the Knights. Central may have made a change on us. It looked like that was Kate Bernhoft, a freshman midfielder that was the target for that pass. Ball ends up back in the Central end. And another strike towards Anderson Tibiatowski. She'll make a ground ball save of it. Sent in from the far side by Hudson Hofer. Hofer's been active so far for Fargo Shanley. Hofer just an 8th grader. Played some valuable minutes against Red River back on Tuesday night. And looking to play a few more of those here. Deacons with some possession. They've had a bit of a possession advantage so far. Yablonski comes out high, finding Carly Holstein. Holstein split a pair of defenders and rolls one beyond the boundary. And we will see the Knights possessing the ball once again. Madison McLaughlin will come over to get rid of the ball. More rain clouds beginning to move in. And again, it's such a strange look, there's a huge north wind, and you can see it hang up in that drop kick. That if you're moving, and right now the Knights are moving into the wind, gaining some position on the field on your free kicks out of the goalkeeper's box are going to be a difficult play, because if you get that ball up at all, the wind is just going to knock it down, at least for what we have. And there are these sweeping rain clouds that keep moving through. Got a shelf of some of those that have moved by, setting up in our west. And now it looked like a ball was played off a hand, so we'll have a free kick for Fargo Shanley from the right side. Riley Sievert from distance going to take a look at a free kick out in the field. Sends a low liner into the mix, and the ball will come out to the right side for J.C. Reardon for Grand Forks Central. Reardon trying to step through some contact, being played by Hofer, who's been huge for Fargo Shanley so far tonight. Back to Holstein for Central. Common for Grand Forks Central ends up trying to send it back up the field, and has one defended out of bounds, as she had Emma Rorick right in her grill. Common will throw in. Ball back towards the near boundary. McLaughlin trying to possess, could not. Ends up beyond the near boundary. Rosemary Tingley throws in for Shanley. Goes off of McLaughlin's head. McLaughlin trying to bring it back towards the midfield. Made a pass out towards midfield. Caught up to by Lewanski for Shanley. She'll sneak it back to Hofer on the right side. Hofer coming up the near side of the field. The ball rolls out of the near boundary. And Rosemary Tingley will send it in for the Deacons. Tingley off to the right side looking for Rorick. Ball defended out of bounds by the Knights. Wind picking up a little bit. And I mean a lot. It has really picked up in short order. It's almost reminiscent of a front that's coming through. The wind was not like this when we got started. I mean, it was windy, but it wasn't quite like this. We got some rain clouds that are moving over right now. I don't know that any of that is hitting the ground, but this has all of a sudden become pretty uncomfortable for the fans and players alike. A throw in by Tingley that just gets a gust of air, ends up going beyond everybody and beyond the back line in the central end of the field. And Madison McLaughlin will try to kick this and gain whatever possession she can for Grand Forks Central against this very stiff north breeze. She drills it out towards the right side of the field. I don't know if you can do a whole lot better than that. And that was actually Kelsey McLaughlin. My apologies. No, that was Madison McLaughlin. My apologies. Ball back out high. Carly Holstein for Central. Played it back to a defender, Riley Sievert. Sievert trying to exploit the field on the right side. This ends up beyond the back line off of Shanley. Now, the advantage that Shanley will have with this wind at their back is that they can gain possession and position on the field rather easily with this north breeze. So if they fly players down the field quickly and take advantage of the wind, it's possible in this first half that you could sneak behind the Knight defense, and you wouldn't really know what happened. Madison McLaughlin, another low liner. Ball rolls out towards the left, and we'll see Anna Yablonsky trying to exploit the field for Shanley. This will be defended out of bounds. And Shanley will have a throw-in on the left side of the field. Shanley moving from north to south tonight, so from our left to right. Ball comes into play, and May Dickelman plays off the head. Aubrielle Kramer trying to get a burst. And this booted back out towards midfield. Holstein trying to get underneath for Shanley. Yablonsky at midfield with J.C. Reardon closing. Pass towards the near side looking for Rorick. Rorick trying to control the ball before it evades the near boundary. Now Rorick out of the corner, defended away by Emily Common, but the ball ends up rolling beyond the boundary. And they'll actually say that Rorick touched it last. So Common, another very good defensive play for Grand Forks Central. She's been inside a couple of plays, player to player tonight, for the Knights defensively deep in Grand Forks Central's end. JC and Lauren Reardon going after the ball. Aubrielle Kramer at midfield. Gets run off the spot by Hudson Hofer. And a pass to the left side where the Deacons went looking for a streak coming from Clara Stumpf. A sophomore forward ends up going too far for her reach. And the Knights will throw in. We play into the 14th minute of the opening half. And we're scoreless. More offense for Central, or rather for Shanley than Central thus far tonight. The Deacons have been up in the Central end quite a bit. Central had a corner kick early and a couple of opportunities. Here's a long-range crosser defended loose, and there was a chance coming from Hofer from out in front of the net, but Hofer skies it, ends up going over the bar and well out of play. And the Knights will get this one back. And another free kick coming up from Madison McLaughlin for Grand Forks Central. McLaughlin keeps it low again, drives it out towards the right side. Far side, the Knights trying to get to it. May Dickelman trying to force this back to midfield. They had J.C. Reardon waiting. Reardon trying to step in and possess. Taken away from her from behind. Hofer off to the right side. Defended loose, comes back to Hofer. Right side for Emma Rorick for Fargo Shanley. Rorick a long-range try. This one's up and over and scores. Emma Rorick from distance will score in the 15th minute of the opening half, and it's 1-0 in favor of Fargo Shanley. So Shanley will go up 1-0. We'll take a look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. And Rorick maybe using a little wind here, striking from long range. Got a little gust behind that, and there was just nothing that Anderson Tibiatowski could do where that one was put. So it's 1-0 in favor of Fargo Shanley as the Deacons come up with the opening salvo tonight. And Shanley just had so much time up inside Central's territory, and the wind was a part of that. Each time that Central tried to change some position, they really couldn't get it away. Lauren Malott coming off towards the right for Grand Forks Central. Knights using Jocelyn Field now with a crosser coming back to the near side. Long roller that will be cut off on the near edge. Addison Lamb back into the matchup as well now for Central. Ball comes out high. Little touch on it to Elizabeth Malott. This will be cleared out by the Deacons to the far sideline. They won't be able to catch up to it. Central, a good recovery, getting some time up front. May Dickelman will throw it in. Goes down the far boundary and ends up beyond. Off of a Deacon. And the Knights will throw in. 1-0 now in favor of Fargo Shanley. A goal by Emma Rorick in the 15th minute of the opening half will put the Deacons on top. Throw in off the far side of the field. Lauren Reardon with a header. This is turned back towards the midfield and a little bit of room to run now for Fargo Shanley, but ball lost, and we see a step up by Madison McLaughlin to try to free it. Instead, it comes back to Rorick on the right side, about the spot she was in before. Going to make another long-range try of it, but didn't have the angle. Ends up driving it beyond the back line. So the Knights will kick out of their end, and we'll see Madison McLaughlin getting back to give it a try. Again, having to keep it short and low. Little touch up by Aubrielle Kramer. Kramer trying to push it to J.C. Reardon. Ball defended loose, and Comet ends up sending the ball out of bounds for the Knights. And Shanley will have Emma Rorick to throw one in. Rorick towards the corner, played off ahead that time by Addison Lamb. So we see some changes, and with Addison Lamb coming in, she was on the scoreboard against West Fargo for the Knights. Played some valuable minutes. Jocelyn Field was playing some last year for Grand Forks Central. So she's got some valuable minutes that she can use as well here for the Knights. Trying to flex out some of that depth. Ball off the side of the field for Fargo Shanley. Not quite a corner. Actually, that was a corner kick. I didn't see that coming. My apologies, folks. I did not see a corner coming out of that. Looked like Shanley had pushed that beyond the back line, but they gave Shanley a corner. Pretty good one that time for Rorick. The Deacons just didn't have a play on it. And Shanley will throw in. And the ball off the body of Lauren Mallett. Here comes another corner for Fargo Shanley, I believe. Sievert made the throw in for the Deacons. And now they will send Emma Rorick over to the far corner for a corner kick for Shanley. So Shanley already up 1-0 and an opportunity to do some more damage with a set piece here in the opening half. Rorick with a corner, out high. Competition for head contact. It'll come back to Aubrielle Kramer for Central. She goes looking for J.C. Reardon, who runs through some contact. Reardon trying to dribble on the near sideline, but loses the ball out of bounds. And we'll see a throw-in coming in from Tingley for the Deacons. Hofer trying to step aside of traffic. Sent it back out high. The Deacons with Nora Hotzenbeller, a sophomore midfielder, holding on to some position. Ball back to the middle of the field. Holstein, long-range pass towards the right, trying to catch up with Clara Stumpf. That will roll out beyond the back line. And off of the Deacons. So the Knights once again will kick it out of their own end of the field. Madison McLaughlin back to send it away. And McLaughlin doing as well as you can against this very stiff wind. She's kept it low, driven it as far as it will go. The wind seems to have let up just a little bit from that howler that went through a couple of moments ago. That was just a temporary gale, but man, did that affect the game at that time. And here comes J.C. Reardon getting on the run. She had a step on a defender, caught, and the ball knocked away, but it'll be Central's throw-in as a good run by J.C. Reardon, able to change some position on the field. Knights down 1-0 on the all-true scoreboard. A goal by Emma Rorick for Fargo Shanley in the 15th minute of the opening half. And Rorick doing some pretty good work scoring. That's her 4th goal of the season now for Fargo Shanley. Ball squirts through off of contact from Kramer and a dive to get back to the ball by goaltender Ashlyn Roach. And they're going to say that Roach didn't get to it, I believe, before it crossed the line. So Central may have a corner kick here. Roach dove to get to it, and Ashlyn Roach in the game against Red River took some gambles. Came out, confronted some players. It worked out for the most part until she was beaten in the opening half for the first goal, but she has a habit of getting out and trying to confront some players. And the corner kick coming out in front of the net, header towards the net, missed just wide of the pole. Good lump, good jump that time for Central. I believe that they had contact in from J.C. Reardon on that play, and that's what they wanted. And Reardon now step beyond the near sideline and throw in for Central as they try to keep it in Shanley's end of the field. Off the head of Lauren Reardon, and Sievert tries to clear it out. She got it back to midfield. There's some space there for the Knights to work with. They had to gather it in, though, and that took some valuable time. May Dickelman trying to keep it up in Shanley's end, and instead Hudson Hofer will send this one streaking down the far sideline. Too strong for its intended target for the Deacons. Clara Stumpf. And Grand Forks Central will throw in. Halfway through the opening half, now into the 21st minute of first half play. Scoreboard updates brought to you by Alltrue. Regular screenings with Alltrue's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org. Call 780-5000. Shanley trying to move up the field. They had numbers for a moment. It's turned away on the right side. And the Knights will try to come back with Elizabeth Malat. Playing it back out to the right boundary. Ball up the field. Just hugging that boundary. Does never go beyond. And Shanley finally coaxing that ball to go out. And Sievert looks to throw it in. But before she can restart play, I believe we'll have a break for some substitutions. Good aggressive play by Sievert trying to send it up the field.
Number 10, Noelle Fredericks, and number 14, Addison Sievert.
So some changes on the field. And Fargo Shanley will throw in with Riley Sievert. Sievert sends it over, and it's taken off the far side of the field for Grand Forks Central by May Dickelman. Dickelman ends up playing it back out. Sievert to throw in again. Contact off the shoulder from Lauren Reardon. Ball off the right side for the Knights. Field trying to play through some traffic. Ends up having the ball knocked beyond the far boundary. Sievert throwing in. Ball comes off near side. Kramer coming back near side. Great pass coming from J.C. Reardon to the near side of the field. This will be brought up by Addison Lamb. Lamb on a good run comes to a halt. Plays it back to Kramer. Kramer goes looking for J.C. Reardon, who had been forgotten about by the Shanley defense. Reardon trying to control and get a step. This comes high. This will trickle in on a strike coming from Elizabeth Malat. And there was goaltender Ashlyn Roach to gobble up the attempt. If Malat would have had an opportunity to put a little bit more sting on that, that might have been an opportunity for a play. And then now we'll see Dickelman coming in from behind trying to make an aggressive header over the top of one of the Deacons. And that'll be whistled as a free kick coming up for Central, or rather for Shanley. Sievert will make the free kick from midfield. Drives it deep. Again, got that burst of wind to help out. And the ball controlled by Shanley's Annie Yablonsky. Into a scrum. And Central trying to play a bag out towards midfield. Held by Holstein. Off to Yablonsky, but strong. And this cleared out by Central in the form of May Dickelman. This comes back to midfield. And Field with the possession. Coming back to the near side, looking for Kramer. Ball knocked loose off the right. Rorick on a run on that right wing again. Ends up being tangled up with, I believe, Addison Lamb. Ball out beyond the near boundary, and Rorick will throw in for Fargo Shanley. Yablonski with the first contact on it. Sent it to the near boundary, and this will be kicked out of bounds once again by Dickelman. Correction by Lamb, my apologies. And Central looking to, or rather Shanley looking to throw in, and each team will make up some changes.
And number 23, Abby Allers.
Looks like the Knights will bring Kelsey McLaughlin back into the game. They're going to enter Natalie Pyers, a junior, or rather Natalia Pyers, a junior midfielder. And Fargo Shanley will have a throw-in as we are in the 24th minute of soccer here in the opening half. 1-0 in favor of Fargo Shanley. They score in the 15th minute with a long-range strike from Emma Rorick, who has her 4th goal this season for the Deacons. And Fargo Shanley will pick up a corner. So a corner kick coming up here for the Deacons. We'll see Annie Yablonski taking the corner kick this time. That's been Rorick's job, but Rorick either not in the matchup right now or moving out to a different spot. It doesn't look like she's on the field. And Yablonski with the corner, going to be a little strong of the net and ends up actually going over the net and beyond the back line. So the corner kick goes off the boards for Shanley. And we will see the Knights kicking it out of their own end. Madison McLaughlin will kick it away for Grand Forks Central. McLaughlin sends it out towards the right side. And the ball comes back to Yablonski. Yablonski looking middle of the field, trying to find Kinsey Julik. Off towards the right. Long run to get to it. Emily Common coming away with it for Grand Forks Central. And some room to dribble. Common trying to make kind of a seeing eye pass out towards the middle, looking for Charlie Kulog. Ball ends up back in the middle of the field, and we'll see Holstein trying to step through some traffic. That physicality of Shanley was evident the other night with Holstein able to hold her ground quite a bit. We saw Sievert getting physical. This one hasn't been quite as physical tonight early. Emily Common will throw in for Grand Forks Central. Common comes out towards the near side and able to find a streak for Madison Lamb. Lamb out towards the near side for Kelsey McLaughlin. McLaughlin held up. Good defensive play by Shanley's Katie Schanzenbach. Again, Schanzenbach was injured in the matchup against Red River in the first 2 minutes, and we didn't get to see a lot of her. We wondered if that changed up anything defensively for Fargo Shanley. Early sample size, but when you lose an all-conference returner, you would think it would affect your defense that night, and it may have had an effect because Red River kind of made that a shooting gallery, particularly in the second half, until very, very late. Ball high and off the foot of Central's Kelsey McLaughlin. Rolling to the far boundary, and Sievert just using the body to shield off Rowan Olmstead. And a pair of changes for the Deacons.
In for the Deacons, number 18.
As Shanley will get ready to throw in.
Hudson Hofer.
So Hudson Hofer back into the matchup for Fargo Shanley. She was very active to start the night here tonight. Ball ends up rolling beyond the far boundary. Off the throw in. Off of contact from Fargo Shanley that time. And the ball thrown towards the far side. Yablonski trying to keep it up in the air. Comes back out near edge. Ball back towards McLaughlin. This will come high. Over to cut it off, J.C. Reardon fighting off some contact. And Reardon's got a physical presence. It'll be tough to dislodge her from the ball. She was able to keep possession. Plays it back to a defender trying to play the possession game. And the ball ends up beyond the far sideline from May Dickelman. And Fargo Shanley will take it back. Deacons throw in leading 1-0 on our All-True scoreboard. Throw-ins brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. And also brought to you tonight by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround promotional goods store, family owned in Grand Forks. Yablonski throws in, or actually possesses the throw in for Fargo Shanley. Tried to play it across the middle of the field. Addison Lamb was there to cut it off. A play upstairs for Charlie Kulak comes up short. Lamb tried to come over and confront it. The ball ended up going beyond the far boundary. We're in the 28th minute of soccer here in the opening half. Deacons leading 1-0 on a goal from Emma Rorick at the 15-minute mark. And a whistle as the ball goes beyond the boundary. Tomorrow night, will be at Albrecht Field on the campus of the University of North Dakota. Central and Red River in softball coming up tomorrow night. They have the opportunity to play on the brand new complex at UND, so we'll have that for you tomorrow night. First pitch is scheduled for 7:30, going to play late tomorrow night under the lights, but a fun one nonetheless. And also tomorrow on KNOX Live Sports, we will have East Grand Forks baseball as the Green Wave will play at home against Thief River Falls in a doubleheader. And we'll have both broadcasts, Channel 1 for the softball, Channel 2 for the baseball tomorrow night. Both can be found on our website, knoxradio.com. You'll be able to find both channels on the same page. 1-0 here. Shanley leading Central, and a ball out of bounds, defended loose by Hudson Hofer, and Central will throw in off the far boundary. I'll look up the field, and the throw in on the far side from May Dickelman comes out towards the middle of the field. Shanley trying to catch up to it, but it's freed, and now the ball loose in the midfield, and here's Addison Lamb getting free. Lamb going to make a long-range strike and got defended loose by Katie Schanzenbach, who got back to break that up. Lamb had a run going. That ball nearly got free, but Schanzenbach was there to put a stop to it, and the returning all-EDC defender takes a scoring opportunity away from Grand Forks Central. And the Knights will throw in, or rather a corner kick. Charlie Kulak will go over and attempt the kick for the Knights. So Kulak will stand ready from the right corner. Knights down 1-0, looking for something to tie up the matchup. Corner looks to be a good one. Hangs up right in front of the net. Header hit the crossbar. Really close play that time for Grand Forks Central. Believe it was Lauren Reardon that got the header on it, and it hit the crossbar just a bit off on the corner kick. Take a look at it again. The American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This is a good corner. The wind holds it up. There's an opportunity there, and there was the header that just grazes off the crossbar and ends up a bit strong. Central that close to tying up the matchup. Remains 1-0 Fargo Shanley. Ball back out to center for the Deacons, and Danica Clausen will dribble this up into the front of the field for the Deacons. Coming back to the ball was Rowan Olmstead for Grand Forks Central. Olmstead trying to pressure it. It's deflected loose off the far side. Clausen back over to get it. Comes back to the top for Yablonski. Yablonski stopping. Working back towards the right side for Shanley. The Deacons come away with, I believe it's Abby Allers, an 8th grader that's a defender and midfielder, and Allers coming out to make a play. Ends up streaking up the near side of the field with a with a soccer ball, and it ends up beyond the near boundary. And the Deacons will have a throw-in on the near side as we're in the 31st minute and about to roll into minute 32 of soccer tonight. So some pressure from Shanley late. Here in the 32nd minute of soccer, leading 1-0. Throw-in comes off the near side, and Aubrielle Kramer trying to possess it, ends up playing it beyond the boundary, and Shanley picking up a pace of play here. Emma Rorick trying to control it. Kramer ended up stepping in front of it, defended it loose again. Molly Flaherty back in the matchup now for Shanley, and she has had very few touches, if any, so far tonight. She started, but we haven't seen her with an offensive opportunity yet. Rorick off the right side has had plenty. She has it again as Common comes out to confront her. Back to the top. And a play coming back through the middle for Shanley's Carly Holstein. All deflected loose. Back out high. Flaherty with a touch. Finding Clausen. Trying to get three of a couple of defenders. But a good play by Lauren Reardon to step in and strip her of possession. This works back to Seward for Fargo Shanley. And defended towards the near side of the field. Central can't quite catch up to it. Ends up beyond the boundary. Throw-in comes from Tingley. And Rorick plays it off the body and looks to take control. Rorick a stop. Back out to Holstein. Holstein will drop it off to Yablonski for Fargo Shanley in the middle of the field. Clausen a turn. Kramer stopped her. Back to Yablonski up high. Now Hofer on the right side. Hofer tries to sneak it through defenders. It's broken up. Comes back to Rorick on that right wing. Rorick trying to step in between a defender. And a good defensive play by Central in the form of Natalia Pyers, who sent it out. And then a strike from distance by Shanley, covered up well by Anderson Tibiatowski. In the orange uniform tonight for Grand Forks Central. Tibia Ptowski with the drop kick. Yablonski able to get to it, heads it beyond the far boundary. Well, you hope when this thing changes over and the wind favors Central that on some of those opportunities, Central will be able to put on more pressure. You would think in a ball control or a possession type of game that maybe you could take some of the wind out of it, but you really can't. Not in this situation. You've seen that those kicks have definitely favored Shanley. They've been able to reverse field position on this throughout the night, in part because of that wind advantage. Holstein, middle of the field for the Deacons, trying to play rather long range on a pass. This came back to Hofer, and her pass to Rorick was a bit too strong. They had Rorick behind the defense, but Rorick could not catch up. They'll say this was broken up by a Knight, so here comes another corner kick for Fargo Shanley. Didn't see that coming, but the Deacons will have a corner kick. Rorick out of the right corner for the Deacons as the wind picks up again. Rorick takes something off the corner and loose in front of the net. The Knights try to clear it. Dickelman sent it back out high. Yablonski holds it, sends in a shot, and a nice save by Anderson Tibiatowski on Jablonski's shot from out high. And the Knights pick up another opportunity to make a defensive play. So a near miss offensively for the Deacons and a near miss offensively for the Knights as of late. Here comes the Deacons again, and Clausen trying to send one in weakly, and a diving stop made there by Anderson Tibiatowski. Into the 35th minute of soccer tonight. And Anderson Tibiatowski will kick it away. Puts it up in the air to the near side, got a high bounce, and some contact in the back that time coming in on Emma Rorick, but Rorick able to hold her ground. Now Aubriel Kramer for Central plays it back out to midfield. Tingley was able to get possession. Seward on the right side. Lauren Malott steps in front of that. Malott goes looking up the field for J.C. Reardon, who took a bit of a touch from behind. Reardon able to hold on to possession. Kulak coming back towards the right. Pressured now from behind, and Carly Holstein just pulls the ball away from her. Sends it back to Hofer. Hofer plays it off towards the left. Clausen trying to make a run of it. Dickelman broke that up. Good pass off to the right for Roran Olmstead. Olmstead looking up the field for Malott. Had J.C. Reardon with her, and the ball's defended out of bounds on the right. Go back a moment ago on our American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, and the big save that comes here on the long-range strike from Jablonski. A roller, and Anderson Tibiatowski making a diving save of a really nice effort for Anderson Tibiatowski to keep that off the scoreboard tonight. J.C. Reardon trying to make a pass to Kulak, exploiting the middle. Ball broken up by Yablonski. She plays it back towards the middle as well. Rorick was there. A chip up the field, and that's broken up as a good play coming up from Central's Madison McLaughlin to keep that moving forward. Now ball defended out of bounds by Shanley. J.C. Reardon comes over to throw in for the Knights. Reardon surveying her options as we roll into minute 37 here in the opening half. 1-0, Fargo Shanley, and a goal from Emma Rorick in the 15th minute. Good long-range strike for Rorick that ends up being the first tally so far tonight. Aubriel Kramer trying to get free. Taken off the ball by Holstein, and Holstein will send it out of bounds from Shanley. Central will play in. Natalia Pyers to throw. And we'll see Holstein headed out immediately. Lauren Reardon holds it out high. Reardon trying to make a move around a defender. Comes back near side for Pyers. Now Malott. J.C. Reardon on the left. Reardon trying to make a little crosser, and that's broken up by Holstein, and that will net Central a corner kick. They were oh so close on the last corner. We'll see if the Knights can make something happen this time. It'll come from the left corner. Good opportunity for the Knights to try to bend this one in and have an opportunity to do something with it. Corner kick will come from Charlie Kulak for Central. Took a little something off it. Line drive that's deflected, still out in front of the net. Malott was able to keep it in. And Central will watch as Shanley plays it back near side. Danica Clausen comes back for it. She'll find Rorick. And Rorick trying to possess up the near sideline. Emily Common coming over to cut it off. But Rorick was able to step through it. Shanley comes up the field with some numbers here. Ball to the right side for Rorick on the wing. Running strong to try to catch up to a roller and ends up just sending it beyond the back line. I think if you watch that play, the wind was actually pushing the ball on the turf up the field, and that's why Rourke was unable to catch up to it. It seemed like the ball was gaining velocity on the field, and that's not really something that it should do. About to roll into minute number 39 of the opening half. And Madison McLaughlin will kick it away for Central. Low liner off towards the right, off the near boundary, just a bit strong, and Shanley will have it back at midfield. Seward to throw in for the Deacons. Pushed back up, Danica Clausen, the intended target, but broken up by Madison McLaughlin for Central. Puts it up for grabs out in the middle of the field. Holstein got to it. Tries to make a play, getting around Kulak, who pressured her. Holstein looking, controlling, trying to exploit the middle. Lauren Reardon plays it off a header. Now loose, still in the air. This one pressured towards the right side. And Anderson Tibiatowski with a dive to take a ball away from Clara Stumpf. Stumpf was in a good area. Anderson Tibiatowski read that well and came out and made the stop. And the goalkeeper for Central puts one up in the air. But again, blown down very quickly. It ends up on the far boundary in front of the Shanley bench. So we take a look over there, and we can say players under blankets huddling for warmth at this point. 1 minute to go. Long-range strike ends up off the side of the cage. We're in the 40th minute. The Deacons leading 1-0 here in the opening half, and a goal at the 15-minute mark by Emma Rourke. At halftime, we'll take a look at some of our highlights, and we've had a couple of rather big plays to go through in this one so far tonight. The goal by Shanley. Good near miss by Central. Good defensive play by the goalkeeper for Grand Forks Central as well. We'll get to those coming up in our halftime report, brought to you by High Plains Water and Grand Forks Welding and Machine. Stay with us for that. Ball out to the far side. Seward trying to play through the middle of the field. Dickelman returned it. Yablonski cut it off for Shanley. Right side of the field, Danica Clausen trying to make a play. Out towards the middle. Long range try up front. Anderson Tibiatowski read a good angle and was able to swipe that away, I believe, from Flaherty, who was coming in to pressure that ball. And Anderson Tibiatowski back up in the air as time runs out in the opening half, and that will be the end of half number one. Tough first half for Grand Forks Central, battling the wind situation. Obviously something that they'll have an opportunity to turn around as they make their way into half number two tonight. And it might be a bit of a win for Central to just be down by a goal, but they are down nonetheless by a score of 1-0. And so the Knights going to have to try to find their way back into this matchup here, as they had a tough time out there offensively in the opening half due to a wind advantage that definitely was in favor of Fargo Shanley in that first half of play. So stay with us and we'll come back with our halftime report. Our halftime report will be brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. They are the Men of Steel, and brought to you tonight by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. And we'll start off with our first half highlights when we come back, so we invite you to stay with us, as we'll have more coming up in our matchup in just a couple of moments. This is our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Sports.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need: turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
You've been waiting for a chance to do something that matters, something big, without a big price tag. Welcome to Northland Community and Technical College. Here you can have a big impact on a small campus, in classrooms that mirror today's workplace, with instructors who teach from experience and know you by name. You've been waiting for a place like this. Are you ready?
Need seed, think Proseed. Proseed.net.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, trade, or rent a trailer, stop into East Grand Forks. GrandTrailersales.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Plus, they also carry a full line of ice melter products for your home or business. To check out all their products, go to rivards.com.
Picture yourself at Lake Region State College. With faculty and staff here to help you succeed, we know you by name. Picture your success as you get hands-on ready for the workforce or transfer on to earn your bachelor's degree. Lake Region State College. We change lives.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. They have pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. Go to sprayadvantage.com.
Your local Circle K and Holiday Station stores are proud to support high school activities. Stop by the new Circle K location at 1316 South Washington Street for not only gas, but a wide array of hot and cold food, snacks for everyone, and a car wash. Open 24/7, 7 days a week.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer tonight in the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We're at the end of the first half, and your score, the Deacons won, the Knights nothing on our All-True scoreboard. Halftime report this evening brought to you by High Plains Water. They're your source for awesome water in Grand Forks and Grand Forks Welding and Machine. The Men of Steel. With a system from High Plains Water, you gain so much, including taking the chemicals out of your water and drinking healthier, cleaner water that's good for you and good for everybody in your household. Beyond that, you see cleaner laundry with less detergent, less scaly, no scaly buildup around those fixtures. And when you're drinking better tasting water, you're going to drink more of it, and that's healthy for you. High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. And it's brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. They are the Men of Steel at Grand Forks Welding and Machine. Now's the time to get those boo-boos remedied before it's time to go out into the field. They've had their bin-busting bolt sale. Now it's time to move on to fixing up that equipment. If you've got holes that need tightening or equipment that's in need of repair, don't waste time. When we finally get the rain out of here, things dry up and warm up, you're going to want to get working, and they'll have you ready to go with Grand Forks Welding and Machine. Well, the Knights down 1-0 in it, 1-0, I should say, in a game that was definitely wind affected, a howling north wind that really kept Central from being able to change a lot of field position when the ball was in their territory and they'd earn a kick out of the goalie box. There was just no way to get it up the field and really change the way this thing was going, and the wind continues to be an unbelievable factor out there tonight. It's a very, very stiff north breeze that's causing all kinds of problems here tonight, and that will obviously affect the game in the second half, only now will affect the game in favor of Grand Forks Central. The Deacons take advantage with a goal from long range by Emma Rorick in the 15th minute to make it a 1-0 matchup at the end of the first half of play. Let's take a look at our first half highlights, and they're brought to you by Proseed. You need seed? Think Proseed. Proseed.net, and the lone goal comes from Emma Rorick for Fargo Shanley, who just widens out and then puts a perfect amount of air underneath that ball to make it 1-0 as she goes out high. Corner kick for Grand Forks Central that nearly got it done. You saw that graze off the crossbar on a header from Lauren Reardon. And then later it stays 1-0 because of an aggressive play by Haley Anderson Tibiatowski on a long-range strike that came from Yablonski. And those are our first half highlights brought to you by Proseed. Need seed? Think Proseed. Proseed.net. Scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. And our scoring summary, it's Emma Rorick scoring her 4th goal of the year at the 15th minute. So Emma Rorick in the 15th minute for Fargo Shanley makes it a 1-0 lead in favor of the Deacons at the end of the first half of play. In the 15th minute, Emma Rorick with a goal to make it 1-0. And that is your scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Halftime continues, brought to you by High Plains Water and Grand Forks Welding and Machine. And our second half of soccer and a preview of what we have coming up tomorrow night is on the way next on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Sports.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Made of steel.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, no matter what the size, PS Doors offers the proper service for you. Get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new again. Big or small, at Finest Auto Trim, we can cover it all. To check out our services, go to finestautotrim.com or stop out on Demers Avenue in Grand Forks to get your quote today.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
As guys, we all love our trucks. That's why Toys for Trucks is your headquarters for all things truck. They carry an amazing selection of rims and tires, plus floor mats, tonneau covers, hitches, plows, and even Excalibur remote car starters for any car, truck, or SUV. And the best part? They can install everything for your truck right at their location. Stop out at Toys for Trucks in Grand Forks to customize your ride, or check them out at toysfortrucks.com.
Franson Bank and Trust in Grand Forks is a community bank that caters to businesses, farms, and consumers. They provide customized financial solutions with personalized customer service. Let Franson Bank give you the banking relationship you deserve. Real people, real results.
Welcome back to our halftime report tonight from a Central Night Soccer against Fargo Shanley this evening on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports. Our halftime report this evening is brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. They are the men of steel at Grand Forks Welding and Machine. Knights leading the Deacons. Let's reverse that. The Deacons leading the Knights by a score of 1-0 at the end of the opening half. Tomorrow night, busy night for us here on KNOX Live Sports, Channel 1. Central Red River in soccer coming up tomorrow night. Not in soccer, rather in softball coming up tomorrow night. That should be a fun one. The two in-town teams playing their crosstown battle in the brand new digs at the University of North Dakota under the lights. It's a 7:30 first pitch, so they're going all out to make that a big atmosphere coming up tomorrow night. That should be a lot of fun. And then also tomorrow night on Channel 2, it'll be tomorrow afternoon rather, a doubleheader of East Grand Forks Green Wave Baseball, their rivals, Thief River Falls, coming to town. So the Prowlers and the Green Wave in a double dip in baseball over at Stouse Field in East Grand Forks. First pitch in that one is scheduled for 4 o'clock. And we'll have those matchups for you on KNOX Live Sports coming up tomorrow. Video coverage only for both. At some point when we have a schedule that we can kind of confirm and know is solid, we'll get back to some radio coverage on that stuff as well. But it's been a little difficult to try to train in radio coverage when you're not sure if games are going to happen. Even this one, this was the only game that didn't get whitewashed today due to the cold temperatures. And when we started this thing, it was 44 degrees. Shanley leading by a score of 1-0. Welcome back to our coverage of Eastern Dakota Conference soccer tonight as J.C. Reardon rolls one beyond the far boundary for the Knights. And Fargo Shanley will throw in. Ball ends up on the far boundary and knocked away. And J.C. Reardon will now play it in. And these are the moments now with the Knights going from north to south that they're going to look to take advantage of after an entire first half where they had to battle the wind all the way through this thing. Holstein plays one back to middle for the Knights, rather for the Deacons. Clausen taking control. Long-range pass across the field trying to find Emma Rorick, but that went too strong, and the Knights will throw in. Emily Common set to throw in. And Common finding J.C. Reardon. Ball popped up in the air after some contact. Aubrielle Kramer in the middle. Back to Reardon trailing the play. Lauren Reardon. Long-range strike down the near side of the field trying to get a run from Rowan Olmstead, and it stays in the boundary as the Deacons try to get over and kind of shield it off, and Fargo Shanley will have a throw in. A nice job done defensively just to keep Olmstead from running underneath that. Olmstead back to the middle of the field, looking for May Dickelman, or actually correction, this will be picked up by Charlie Kulak. Kulak towards the right side for Lauren Malott. Little drop pass for Olmstead trying to exploit the corner. And Olmstead's going to earn a corner kick. So Olmstead will earn a corner for Grand Forks Central as we play our way into the third minute of this second half. 1-0, still learning the lingo. 1-0, Fargo Shanley. And we'll see Charlie Kulak come over to the corner for Grand Forks Central to make a corner kick of it. So Kulak will come over. Boy, the Knights could use this. Down 1-0, looking for something. Kulak's corner kick hit the side of the net. Might have had a good angle on it, too. It looked like she put the right amount of distance under that. There was going to be an opportunity there, but just had the wrong positioning on it, had the right approach. And we'll see the Deacons try to kick it out of their end now, and this will be the challenge for the Deacons as Ashlyn Roach will send it out. And again, you can see it hang up in the wind. Comes back to Olmstead, made a pass between a pair of defenders. Shanley closed the gate on that quickly. Yablonski back to middle. Look by Holstein from the defensive side. Coming out towards the near midfield for Shanley in the form of Nora Hatson-Beller. She'll play back to center. Long run for Danica Clausen on the left wing. Clausen going to make a long-range try of it, and that will just roll beyond the back line. Anderson Tibiatowski and Grand Forks Central's Madison McLaughlin will come back now and play it out of the central end. And this is where the Knights can gain a bit of an advantage now if they can get a good kick with this wind behind them. Kept low again, takes a hop, and Shanley's actually able to cover that up, and now they've got a run. Rorick making a pass towards the right side, looking for Flaherty, but that'll be too strong and out of bounds. And the Knights will kick it out of their own end again. So we'll see another kick coming here from Grand Forks Central. No correction. This is going to be a corner for Shanley. My apologies. I didn't see that coming. Shanley's going to make a corner kick of this. And the ball comes free out to the top, and we'll see McLaughlin just kick it back out beyond the far sideline. So didn't see a corner coming out of that. I didn't see contact from Central on that at all when it rolled beyond the back line, but apparently they did on the field. Kulak trying to clear it out for the Knights. Comes back high. Deacons able to hold it down with Abby Allers. Back to the middle of the field, and Allers making another play off the body. Eighth grader here, stepping away from some pressure. Back to Holstein. And waiting to corral her was J.C. Reardon. Ball knocked loose, and Reardon's going to get possession of it for Central. She tries to start up the field. Deacons have good speed coming back, but a bit of a stumble on the far side by Tingley. And we'll see Addison Lamb coming away with a good run for the Knights off the left wing. Lamb getting down, making a good play, sending this back out high. Central kind of vacated the position. No one was around to hold serve on it. Emily Common turns it back up the field. And what a nice play coming there that time from Kulak to spin away possession. Lauren Malott long range Slow roller in on Roach, who will pick it up for the Deacons. Into the 6th minute of the second half. Knights trailing 1-0 to Fargo Shanley on the all-true scoreboard. Flaherty trying to get loose for the Deacons. Comes away to the right side, able to find some help in the middle from Allers. Stop. Clausen trying to make a long-range pass. We're going to see a whistle here. Not sure if that hit a hand for Shanley or if that was a violation against Central. Looks like it'll be Central with a free kick. And we will see the Knights with Madison McLaughlin backing up to make the kick of it towards the middle of the field. Yablonski able to control it. She's confronted by Kramer. Turned back towards the middle of the field. Allers back for Shanley. Kramer able to control for Central. Comes off with Clausen on the left wing. Clausen a stop. Step back behind the midfield line. Sends one across the way. Dickelman for the Knights. Turns away from some pressure. Able to dribble in the open midfield. Dickelman taking a look up towards the right wing. She went looking for Rowan Olmsted. Allers was back to cut it off. Back to the middle for Hudson Hofer for Fargo Shanley. Hofer off to the right, able to find Carly Holstein. Holstein a stop to Yablonski on the right side. Yablonski a long-range pass looking for Clausen on the left. Clausen had a streaker on the far side. That one was deflected. It comes back out towards the right, but once again, another violation. Maybe offsides. That may have been the call on the previous as well. Looks like Shanley came offside on a couple of occasions here. And so we'll see McLaughlin sending this away. McLaughlin coming up with the free kick in the middle of the field. J.C. Reardon with a touch. Trying to make a run. Ball cut off by Katie Schanzenbach, who got back defensively. She hasn't had to make a lot of plays tonight, but Schanzenbach has been steady, and you can see what the Deacons were missing when Schanzenbach went out of the game against Red River back on Tuesday night. Ball loose middle of the field. Rowan Olmsted with a chip, and she'll score. Boy, that quick for Rowan Olmsted. Didn't see that coming. The ball came to the middle of the field. There was a lost step in there for Fargo Shanley defensively. Olmsted read it, was able to chip it and go across the net and put it towards an empty space that Ashlyn Roche could not get to. Olmsted will score in the 8th minute of the second half, so technically the 48th minute of the game for Rowan Olmsted. And Grand Forks Central ties the matchup at 1 apiece. Let's take a look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This is a throw-in that just comes loose off of a collision, and Olmsted was there, and the defense just didn't catch up to her. Left her far too much empty space in front of the midfield. And Grand Forks Central is able to tie it up at 1 apiece on a goal in the 48th minute by Rowan Olmsted. See a collision to the left of the central net. I believe this is going to lead us towards a corner kick for Fargo Shanley. So Fargo Shanley with a corner from the right side after Central ties the matchup at 1 apiece. The corner coming in and headed out very aggressively. Made by May Dickelman, able to get that back out towards the middle. Tingley trying to run it down for Shanley. Emily Common will pooch one back across the far sideline. And Fargo Shanley will throw in off the right boundary. They throw in. Rorick coming back towards the right. Little long-range strike that's hit away that time by Lauren Reardon. And a long-range attempt at one that ends up hitting the side of the net. Boy, I'll tell you what, Haley Anderson-Tibiatowski was back and trying to read that and was panicking a little bit as that ball was too tall for her. But it ends up offline. Shanley's had a couple of pieces of luck from that right wing tonight, sending one in from distance. That time, though, a little bit offline. And we'll stay tied. We have a stoppage for some substitutions. And the Knights, Madison McLaughlin, will free kick it away. Little aid from the wind. Lauren Malott waiting to make a drop pass on the boundary, and a good one. And here comes Rowan Olmsted. Olmsted cut off as Hofer got back, but lost the ball. Malott back to Olmsted on the right wing. Now trying to make a run against Allers, and Allers tripped her. And boy, the Shanley or the Central crowd waiting for a call here. And it looks like we will see a free kick for Grand Forks Central. Now, this is in an interesting place for the Knights. The wind behind the Knights, and this is deep inside Shanley territory on the free kick. This is very reachable for Grand Forks Central from this spot on the field. So Madison McLaughlin going to set up a free kick off the right. And this is going to act very much kind of like a corner, just from a different angle, especially with the wind behind McLaughlin. And she has an opportunity to measure a couple of things here. McLaughlin's kick keeps it low. Rowan Olmsted able to possess. Snuck one through, and a long-range shot comes up just long from Lauren Reardon. Reardon was there, had it in a good spot, ends up just putting it over the bar, and Lauren Reardon's been snake bit a couple of times tonight. She had the header on the earlier corner that hit the crossbar, ended up deflecting up. And now this one ends up with a shot from the top that just ends up being a bit too high. Knights will throw in off the near boundary. May Dickelman will throw it in, and this is knocked out of bounds by the Deacons. New defender coming in, that's Bridget McGuire, a sophomore defender that comes out, puts a shoulder on it. And we'll see J.C. Reardon throwing in for the Knights. And this is deep enough where Reardon's looking for some offense. As we play into the 11th minute of the second half of play, it would be the 51st minute of the game. Central and Shanley knotted at 1 apiece. Pivotal matchup in the Eastern Dakota Conference. Couple of teams that believe they have chances to qualify for state tournaments out of the East region. Throw in coming in from Shanley, that's a bit offline before Flaherty could get to it. And now the Knights will have May Dickelman giving way to J.C. Reardon for a throw-in. So there are 3 big points on the line in this one tonight. Throw-in looking for Addison Lamb. It got over a defender, ends up beyond the back line, and Shanley will get it back. So the Deacons with an opportunity to kick out of their end. And we'll see Ashlyn Roach, the goaltender for the Deacons, ready to do the honors. And that's a good kick against the wind. She got that out from her own territory. A very long stretch nearly to midfield against this very, very stiff north wind tonight. Lauren Reardon trying to make a pass to the near side. Danica Clausen cut it off for Shanley. Clausen coming up the field on the left, plays back towards the middle. Common was able to defend that loose. Back towards the middle of the field for Aubrielle Kramer, engaged in a very physical matchup with Yablonski of Fargo Shanley. Reardon trying to fight off some contact from behind from Hudson Hofer. And now the Deacons take control on a pass to midfield. Kramer steps in with a touch, trying to get it back for Central. Holstein plays it off towards the wing. Rorick trying to come back to the ball for Shanley. Holstein sent it, took it off the body of J.C. Reardon. Is put up for grabs at center field. Flaherty running underneath it for Fargo Shanley. Pass off to Clausen. Defended by Dickelman loose. Ball will come back to Madison McLaughlin for Central, trying to quarterback a play out of her own end. Rorick with a header. Can't get control. Knocked in the air. Dickelman, little chop pass out towards the middle. Malott tried to turn into one. That was defended well. Off the far side of the field for Shanley. Not much of an angle to defend for Bridget McGuire, and she was able to do so. Shanley trying to clear the field again, but again, that north wind just steps in and really becomes a factor. Now Flaherty plays one off the body. She has Clausen on her left and 5 Knight defenders that are back, but Clausen comes up with control. Crossing pass. They're looking off onto the right wing. I believe this is Rorick that's over on the right. She'll come back, plays towards the center towards the net, and then Rorick with another kick that ends up sending it beyond the back line. Kick for Grand Forks Central. Free plays tonight brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region, and brought to you by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround promotional shop, family owned in Grand Forks. And we'll see Madison McLaughlin kicking away for Grand Forks Central. McLaughlin sends it back out to the middle of the field. A stop on the near side, and the ball will be played by Carly Holstein for Fargo Shanley. Holstein trying to come over and keep possession of the ball if she could. Ends up back in Central territory. Long range strike by Dickelman, and she goes looking for J.C. Reardon. Reardon a long run to get to it, but can possess on the far boundary, caught up to it. Comes back towards her right, tries to step through some traffic, and was defended wide on the far sideline by Shanley's Noelle Fredericks, a junior defender that stepped into the game. And Central's back up in Shanley territory now. 1-1 tie on our All True scoreboard. And we are in Minute number 55 of this matchup.
And number 4, Jocelyn Field.
And it's a pivotal matchup inside the East region tonight. Ball comes back out high. Addison Lamb trying to get control. Did we have a hand on the ball? Looks like we're going to have a free kick for Fargo Shanley. Or we're going to have a penalty kick here for Grand Forks Central. Yeah, we're going to have a penalty kick here for Grand Forks Central. I didn't see what was called, but this is going to be a huge moment in the game. Grand Forks Central is going to attempt a penalty kick. May Dickelman has an opportunity to give Central the lead. 1-1 tie, and May Dickelman will come on to try to give Central the lead in the 56th minute on a penalty kick. Dickelman sends it in and scores. May Dickelman will score for Grand Forks Central on a penalty kick. And this will be in the 66th minute. Rather, my apologies. It'll be the 56th minute of the matchup. And May Dickelman with a penalty kick will make it 2-1 Grand Forks Central. Take a look at it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Just a pretty confident kick from Dickelman going to her left, and Ashlyn Roach, good reaction, went the right way on it, but the ball staying low just did not give Roach an opportunity to make the stop. And Central comes back and takes a 2-1 lead on Fargo Shanley on a penalty kick from May Dickelman. And so the Deacons now chasing on the scoreboard tonight. And we'll see what happens next. Obviously, the next goal is a huge one. Central goes up by 2. They've got a really good chance in this one. And we saw Fargo Shanley when they did play desperate against Red River. They were able to speed up their game and play very quickly and did so very confidently. Addison Lamb coming up against Carly Holstein on the far side. Holstein will fight off Lamb and look up the far side of the field. Long run to get to it for Madison McLaughlin. She'll defend it beyond the boundary. Still lots of time left in this one, but a 2-1 lead for Central, and it feels very different than the first half where Fargo Shanley was dominant, had the ball in what you would say was their offensive end for quite a bit of the first half of play, didn't allow Central many opportunities. Central here in the second half has taken advantage of one on offense and one on the penalty kick and takes a 2-1 lead. And in these types of matchups where you've got a couple of front runners in the EDC playing one another, I mean, those margins small, and those penalty kicks going to be a massive opportunity. Throw in for Shanley in their own end. This ball will be defended out of bounds by the Knights. Kick comes in from the far side, and Anderson Tibiatowski will come up and make the play for Grand Forks Central. So Tibiatowski will kick it away. Ball ends up taking a hop near midfield, up and over J.C. Reardon, who is chasing it. And now the Deacons try to play possession out of the midfield. Holstein looking up for Hudson Hofer. Hofer trying to play towards the right side, finding Emma Rorick. Rorick coming up the far edge. A quick turn, plays it back towards the middle. And the Knights try to change some field position. Good header that time from J.C. Reardon. And Reardon may earn this back in the midfield. Instead, Lauren Malott will step in. Good defensive play by Schanzenbach, who got there for Central, or rather for Shanley, to keep that away from J.C. Reardon just coming open and running the midfield for the Knights.
In for the Knights, number 12, Aubrielle Kramer, and number 14,
see some changes here for Grand Forks Central. And the Knights will have a throw-in near midfield. 2-1 Central on the All-True scoreboard. Scoreboard updates tonight brought to you by All-True. Regular screenings with All-True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Knights trying to gain possession. Lauren Malott squeezing one down the far sideline between a pair of defenders. Comes back out to the center of the field. Some contact there that will draw an ooh and ah from the crowd. Ball loose left side. J.C. Reardon trying to play up the field, looking for a defender to run past. Ball ends up on the far boundary. Chase given. Hofer coming free in the middle of the field for Shanley. Flaherty trying to send it up the field. Central seems to have gained a little bit of a step here as well. They seem to be covering a bit more ground defensively. Flaherty off towards the near side, looking near edge for Kinsey Julich. Oh, Julich found an opening and a long run for Anderson Tibiatowski to take one away. That was a big play for Anderson Tibiatowski, taking one away from an obvious strike coming from Danica Clausen. That was a key moment for Anderson Tibiatowski once again. She had to come up and make a play when it looked like Clausen was going to get free. Ball will end up beyond the near boundary. Take a look at that again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This ball gets loose, and that's going to be an opportunity to score if Clausen catches up to it. Anderson Tibiatowski making a nice read on that to keep that from going anywhere. Knights with a throw-in on the near side. Hofer possessing in the midfield. Off towards the right side, trying to run it down with Holstein for the Deacons. Holstein being defended well by Central's Nora Presting, an 8th grade midfielder who comes into the matchup. Knights leading 2-1. Ball loose in the midfield. J.C. Reardon trying to run behind it. It's be deflected back to the midfield. Flaherty coming away for Shanley, but defended well by Lauren Reardon, who steps in front to make the play. Reardon makes a play down the field looking for J.C. Reardon. That broken up. Ball goes loose to midfield. Danica Clausen trying to run it down. Now it's Hofer. Hofer coming to a stop against Aubrielle Kramer. Back off to the right for Clausen. Clausen looking to dribble away from Presting. Widens out on the right side of the field. Down now against Emily Common, looking to exploit the corner. Ball ends up beyond the boundary, and this is going to be a corner kick for Fargo Shanley. Emily Common coming out to confront. Or is it going to be a corner kick? Yeah, I must have read that one wrong as well. I thought the flag went towards the Deacons in that play. Instead, this will be the Knights kicking out of their own end. So a couple of reads against me that didn't go well tonight, folks. Apologies on that. Madison McLaughlin kicks it away. Ball on the near side of the field. And Field trying to possess it. Comes back out to the middle for Hudson Hofer for Fargo Shanley. She steps wide of Aubrielle Kramer looking to gain possession. Yablonsky back on the right. Running back off towards that right side. That's broken up by Central and brought back up by Nora Presting for the Knights. Presting looking right side and has Lauren Malott, but long pass a bit too strong for Malott. Ends up beyond the far boundary. And this will go back to a throw-in for Fargo Shanley. So the Deacons throw in. Kept on the far side. Comes back to J.C. Reardon. Now Yablonsky out the middle of the field. Yablonsky comes back near side, finding Danica Clausen for the Deacons. Clausen trying to pull free, but there was Lauren Reardon to take control. And a pass near side. This one going to be too strong for Field and roll beyond the boundary. So the Deacons will throw in with the Knights leading 2-1. Throw-ins brought to you tonight by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region, and Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround promotional goods shop. Family owned in Grand Forks. May Dickelman back out at midfield for Central, trying to gain some field position for the Knights. And J.C. Reardon looking to run one down for Central. This comes back out towards the left. A look by Presting. It's chopped down. Reardon with a chance to possess. Malott was there, couldn't hold it. Kramer, a nice job to hold the offensive advantage here. Jocelyn Field with the bender from distance, but a good play that's made by Ashlyn Roach. She made a good read on that bender coming in from Jocelyn Field and takes it away. 2-1, Knights leading the Deacons. And this game now progresses into the 64th minute. 3 big points in the Eastern Dakota Conference on the line tonight. Shanley came to Grand Forks, beaten by Red River. They'd love to get something out of Grand Forks in this series this season. Rorick trying to play free of a pair of defenders, knocked away. We talked about kind of the recipe. If you're thinking about the season series, you play everybody twice. You go on the road, you want to at least get one if you can, and then get all 3 at home. And here tonight, Grand Forks Central trying to defend Cushman Field. We'll see a corner kick coming from Fargo Shanley. Emma Rorick will do the honors.
Number 19, Clara Stump, and in for the Knights, number 2, Addie Lamb.
So we'll see Rorick with a corner for Fargo Shanley. Puts this one up right in front of the net. There's an opportunity there. It's knocked away by Anderson Tibiatowski, loose in front of the net. Aubrielle Kramer cleared it. Tingley tries to hold possession for the Deacons. And we'll see a whistle. It looked like the ball was played off a hand by Emma Rorick, and this is going to head back to Grand Forks Central for a free kick. Well-placed corner kick that time, and I think Anderson Tibiatowski got hands on that and was able to knock that away to gain a little distance away from the goal and allow the scrum to step in and sort of figure out where that thing was going to go. Long-range play up the field looking for J.C. Reardon. Instead knocked away, and Holstein comes away with it for the Deacons. Left-footed pass, knocked away off the near side. Kinsley Julich coming up the field for the Deacons. Julich with a turn, trying to set up Flaherty. Flaherty will make a cross-field pass. This is broken up, comes back out towards the right. Rorick trying to run it down for the Deacons, and does. Back to Clausen, and then Rorick again. And now Rorick being confronted out there on the edge by Preston. She'll play it back to midfield. Holstein a look. That one broken up. Lauren Reardon sends it back up the field for Central. Run down right side of the field by Tingley for the Deacons. Tingley comes back to the middle for Flaherty. Flaherty a turn and run down the right side. Deflected again by Lauren Reardon. Reardon stepped up, made a couple of defensive plays in this sequence that have been pretty good. Shanley possessing in the midfield, which is something that they like to do. Yablonsky coming up in the midfield. Kramer sends this back out high. This one will take a hop on the right side over Tingley. Picked up behind the play that time by Schanzenbach for Shanley. And now to the middle again for Holstein. Holstein to Flaherty in the middle of the field. Off towards the right, picked up by Emma Rorick, and Rorick's long-range crosser ends up trickling just beyond the back line. Had a pretty good angle, did Rorick. She scored the lone goal tonight for Fargo Shanley. That came in the 15th minute of the opening half. It's been countered by a Rowan Olmsted goal in the 48th minute and a penalty kick by May Dickelman in the 56th. And Central leading Fargo Shanley by a score of 2-1 as the game rolls into the 67th minute. Less than 14 to play in the second half. Central trying to open up the season with a 2-0 record. Defeated West Fargo. Many around the league would say that Fargo Shanley coming in is a clear step up in competition. With Central playing West Fargo to start the year. West Fargo, a team that's struggling a little bit right now. And taking a look at their roster, the thing that stood out about West Fargo's roster is that you didn't really see any of the usual suspects as far as the female athletes that you've been used to from some of the other teams, their basketball team, their hockey team, or their volleyball team. It seems like a different set of athletes that are trying to find their way there. And Central with an 8-0 win over West Fargo to start the season. Now we'll see a whistle with some contact into the back of Central's Addison Lamb, who is trying to possess the ball, and a free kick coming up for Central. But Central opening up 8-0 win back on Tuesday. They play here tonight, and then they go on the road again tomorrow. We'll talk more about those matchups. We'll give you a look at the standings and that coming up here in a couple of moments. Madison McLaughlin, good long-range kick. One hopper in on Addison Roach, and Roach has it. Again, the standings coming in tonight, you can see Red River, Shanley with 6 points each. Central and Davies, 3 points in the league without a loss. They were 1-0, and tomorrow night Central plays at Fargo South, who does have a win in the league right now and 3 points. So tomorrow night's game at South High School also going to be very important for Grand Forks Central. Tomorrow night we'll be at Albrecht Field downtown on the campus of UND for softball between Central and Red River tomorrow night. Looking forward to bringing that to you here on KNOX Live Sports. And at Stouse Field coming up tomorrow afternoon for East Grand Forks Green Wave Baseball as they go up against Thief River Falls and the Prowlers. That one tomorrow with the first pitch at 4 o'clock. That'll be on Channel 2, and we'll have Channel 1 coverage for you with softball coming up tomorrow between Central and Red River. Shanley earns a free kick here as the ball trickles out beyond their back line. Game now in the 69th minute of play. About to go into minute 70. And the kick on the way from Ashlyn Roach. Ball on the right side of the field for Shanley. And the Shanley Deacons have just had very few offensive opportunities here in the second half. The wind has definitely been a factor in this one tonight, and each team has scored a goal with the advantage of the wind. The difference right now is the penalty kick that May Dickelman converted. Deacons with it. Playing back to midfield, Aubriel Kramer puts it up in the air. Good play by Kramer to send that back towards the middle of the field. This will come out to Yablonski for Fargo Shanley. And a pass to the near side. Almost too long, but a good rundown of it. Kinsley Julik able to keep this on the left wing. Julik dribbling up the field. Makes a stop at a short pass that's broken up by McLaughlin for Grand Forks Central. Back off near side. We'll see a run coming from Abby Allers for the Deacons. And a battle for control that ends up beyond the near sideline. And Yablonski will have a throw in for Fargo Shanley. Yablonski looking for some possession coming from Danica Clausen. Clausen will step back to it in the middle of the field. Widening out towards the right. Long range strike. Anderson Tibiatowski there. Boy, that's a good look from Clausen, but Tibiatowski able to make the read on that, step back and get to it, and keep Shanley off the scoreboard. And that shows you, obviously, Shanley feeling the moment here. Inside of 10 minutes to go, playing into the 71st minute. And they did this against Red River as well. As time grew short, Shanley didn't abandon their possession game, but they certainly did look to take more opportunities from deep and try to look for a score that would tie it up. 2-1 lead Central on the all-true scoreboard. Bouncer on the throw-in coming to the near side. Schanzenbach back towards the near edge. Rowan Olmsted trying to get to it. Now Addison Lamb on the right side. Good stop by Lamb to come open. Then Lamb taken off it by a pair of defenders, and this ball played back out to midfield. Flaherty coming back for it for Shanley. Flaherty opens up in the midfield, takes a look, makes a long pass off towards the right. Hudson Hofer looking back towards the middle of the field. Madison McLaughlin back defensively, just looking to make the long-range kick and change field position on it. She does. Allers over to cut it off. And Allers will have to wait as Central makes a change. Emma Rorick going to come back into the matchup. So Rorick will come on to replace Kinsley Julik, as the Deacons want to get as much firepower on the field as they can in the final moments. Down 2-1 to Grand Forks Central. Allers will throw in. Bounce out in front. Lauren Reardon trying to get underneath it. Instead, Rorick with it. Long range strike again on Anderson Tibiatowski. And Anderson is there to make the stop. Anderson Tibiatowski, the goal keep for Grand Forks Central, taking a look up the field. Makes a drop kick of a ball towards the far line. And Central cannot keep it in bounds. It'll go out beyond the far boundary. And we'll see the Deacons throwing in on that right side. Broken up by Lauren Reardon. Reardon plays it up the field. Stop on the far side by Jocelyn Field to try to get control. Goes loose. Schanzenbach trying to play it up the field, but that really hung up in the wind. Lauren Malott playing back to some open space for Rowan Olmsted. This put up near side. Olmsted looking for some control. Lamb trying to run underneath it. Did. Got it back to the middle of the field. Another little breakdown, and Jocelyn Field stepping in to get a piece for Central. Back out to Hudson Hofer in the center of the field for Shanley. Hofer the long range play. Dickelman able to break that up. And Lauren Reardon just sends a kick up the field looking to change some position on it. She does. Schanzenbach gets back after it. The ball kicked to the near boundary, and this will be a Shanley throw-in. About to move into the 74th minute of soccer. 2-1 in favor of Grand Forks Central. The Knights on a penalty kick. Up by a goal at this point, looking for a pivotal matchup in the Eastern Dakota Conference standings tonight. Ball knocked up in the air. Lauren Malott playing it back out high. Holstein getting a jump for some possession. Central back to cut it off. Natalia Pyers back to get to it. Ball will go loose in the middle of the field. Rorick takes a look of the field, surveying her options. She'll squeeze one away to Flaherty out in the middle. Flaherty taking a look. Good pass to Danica Clausen. Back to Flaherty. Flaherty has a chance in by herself, and Tibiatowski, a big save, and a second effort goes wide. Wow. Anderson Tibiatowski with the save of the night. We'll watch it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This had goal written all over it. Flaherty in by herself, takes the extra dribble, and Tibiatowski with an unbelievable save for Grand Forks Central to keep that out of the net and preserve the 2-1 lead for the Knights. That's a highlight type of play for Central here tonight to go along with the penalty kick and the goal. But Anderson Tibiatowski, couple of big saves that stand out, but none more important than that one. And it brings the clock down to inside of 6 minutes to play. We're into the 75th minute of soccer. Central leading by a score of 2-1. Ball on the right side of the field. Holstein has one roll beyond the far boundary. It'll be a throw-in for Central. That could be a save for Anderson Tibiatowski that saves 2 points for the Knights in the standings. Go from a draw into a win if you can hold on here, and if you get that, that's a 2-point in the standings save for Anderson Tibiatowski to preserve the tie if you go on and get the victory. And we'll roll into minute 76. Knights with a throw-in on the right side of the field. Lauren Reardon to throw it in. And some muscle for control in front. J.C. Reardon stepping back to the ball on the right side, and Reardon has it slip off a foot and go beyond the boundary. And Fargo Shanley, against this wind, will try to get back up the field once again. Ashlyn Roach going to make a running approach on this. And Roach will bend one off towards the right side, but again, couldn't clear a lot of field in this. Shanley, a nice play to keep that from going beyond the boundary, or did they? Now they're going to say this got beyond before Danica Clausen could keep it in. And so the Knights will throw in. 2-1 lead for Central, and Rowan Olmstead will play in for the Knights. Olmstead to the right side for J.C. Reardon. Stop, a turn back up the middle, and now we're going to see a whistle, and another ball beyond the boundary off of Fargo Shanley. Inside of 4 minutes to go with the Knights leading. A throw towards the right corner looking for J.C. Reardon, and this ball ends up beyond the boundary. This time Shanley will have a throw in of it. So the Deacons throw in. Clausen plays it back out to midfield, found Flaherty, and the ball knocked loose. Worth keeping in mind that save by Anderson Tibiatowski was on a shot by Molly Flaherty, who is a returning all-conference player from a year ago. I mean, that is a big, big play in the matchup, not just because of the save, what you saw, but you're going one-on-one at that point against an all-EDC returner. And coming up with that kind of save was really impressive for Haley Anderson Tibiatowski for Grand Forks Central. Play coming in off the far sideline as the clock will tick down into minute 78 in this matchup. It'll be a free kick. And Madison McLaughlin will step back to take the kick for Grand Forks Central. Stay tuned in our post-game report tonight. For those of you joining us late, we'll take a look through our highlights from this matchup. We got a good highlight number coming up for you here tonight. We've seen plenty of things. Looks like they might be trying to stop the clock, and they are. They may have to do a clock reset here. Not sure as to the reasoning for the stoppage of the clock here, unless a timeout was taken by Fargo Shanley. I haven't seen a timeout taken as of yet. Oh, they're going to administer a yellow card apparently. So calling for a stoppage, and they've reset it to 3:25, but boy, I'll tell you what, that added 45 seconds to the clock. That seems like a little bit more time. But of course, if you're a Central fan, you're thinking, yeah, that's a little bit more time than you want. So a yellow card, Fargo Shanley's coach picks up a yellow card, and there's a free kick by the Knights. The ball ends up beyond the far boundary. So we roll into the 78th minute, just a little bit later than we thought we would. And I believe, if I remember right, back in the Red River matchup, that the Deacons got a yellow card in that matchup as well. There was a lot going on physically in that one. Both coaches were looking for some calls that they didn't get. But that's a couple of trips up to Grand Forks for Fargo Shanley, and I believe 2 yellow cards that their staff has come out of here with. Ball on the right side into minute number 78. Central leading 2-1 on our all-true scoreboard. J.C. Reardon trying to run after a ball. It ends up beyond the far boundary. Fargo Shanley has to hurry. Ashlyn Roach will put it down on the turf and send it up the field. Kept it low. Again, the wind holding it up, though, for Grand Forks Central. Aubrielle Kramer trying to play it back towards the right. Back out off the right side. Madison McLaughlin coming away with possession. Lauren Reardon trying to defend it loose. It's deflected back to the middle of the field. Now Dickelman trying to play it loose as well. Central going to get free again. Here's a run for Hofer, and Hofer got taken out on a body check. And we're going to see a penalty kick coming up for Fargo Shanley. They were getting loose again, and a huge collision from behind on just a solid check coming in from Central physically. And now we're going to see a violation on Central as well. So a 2-1 lead for Central that's in the balance now. We'll have a couple of officials that will get together to discuss the ongoings of this one coming up next. And we'll see what happens here. So we'll see what happens here as the two officials get together to talk this one over. It looked like they had ruled a penalty kick. It looked like they had pointed towards the turf in the penalty kick area. But as of right now, they're still talking about how they're going to administer this with the clock down to 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to go. There's a lot going on in this play. And let's see what's going to happen here. I think they had awarded penalty kick. Now apparently, if I'm reading this correctly, they're going to bring the Central captains over and talk to the Knights about what the next steps on this one are going to be. All right, let's see what happens here. No, this is going to be a penalty kick. All right. So Fargo Shanley will have a penalty kick. It'll be Carly Holstein that will take a penalty kick to try to tie the matchup for the Deacons. 2-1 Knights. Holstein's penalty kick into the net for a score. That's simple for Carly Holstein, and Shanley will tie the matchup at 2. Carly Holstein will score on a penalty kick, and it will be in the 77th minute, rather the 78th minute of soccer. So in the 78th minute on a penalty kick, Shanley ties it at 2. We look at it again, the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Not even much of a movement here from Anderson Tibiatowski, just too tall for her. Holstein put it up to the corner. Tibiatowski had moved the other way. And that means that we have a draw in the matchup for now. Tied at 2, under 2 minutes to play in the second half. Ball back out to Lauren Reardon for Grand Forks Central. Well, a tough break that time. 2 plays down the stretch where Shanley got behind the Knights defense, and another collision out in the middle of the field. And right now, Shanley running free. They're still playing as if they're down a goal, and that might not be the best or the worst way to play in this situation. Addison Lamb puts one up that's deflected. She and Carly Holstein battling for control, and it ends up beyond the far boundary. And Fargo Shanley perhaps going to have a throw in here with the clock down to 1:20. Or will it be a free kick for Shanley? It'll be a free kick for Shanley, so Carly Holstein will tee this up on the right side. We'll roll into the 80th minute on this play. Holstein spins one to the middle of the field. Aubrielle Kramer will play it back out to midfield. Ahlers plays it off the body, looking for Yablonski. Ahlers plays it back towards the near side of the field. Rowan Olmstead is there. Olmstead tries to make a play to keep this in the playable area, but sent it beyond. 45 seconds. A throw in for Fargo Shanley. They get loose again. Molly Flaherty. Flaherty stepping away from some pressure. Little crosser defended out of bounds. Shanley may have a corner here. Shanley has a corner with 30 seconds left to go in the matchup. Huge play here for Fargo Shanley. A corner kick with 30 seconds left. Header ends up going wide. Ball will roll over towards the far side. We're at 20 seconds. Holstein a strike. Header up for grabs in front of the net. And a second effort that's deflected out towards the near edge. Deacons run it down again. This will be put back out high from Rorick. Played beyond the back line. Not beyond, apparently stayed in. And this one's going to end in a draw tonight. Boy, it got loose right in front of the net for the Deacons at the final horn. And your final score in the matchup tonight will be the Deacons 2 and the Knights 2. So the teams will split the matchup here tonight. It'll be a split of the points. Each team will pick up a point in the Eastern Dakota Conference standings. Each team with goals with the wind. Each team with penalty kick goals tonight. And it turns out to be an eventful finish. But stick with us because we have our post-game highlights coming up in just a couple of moments. We'll come back and take care of those for you as we move into our post-game report and wrap up tonight. So stay with us. This is our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Post-game highlights are on the way next.
Your local Circle K and Holiday Station stores are proud to support high school activities. Stop by the new Circle K location at 1316 South Washington Street for not only gas, but a wide array of hot and cold food, snacks for everyone, and a car wash. Open 24/7, 7 days a week.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. They have pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. Go to sprayadvantage.com.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, no matter what the size, PS Doors offers the proper service for you. Get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, trade, or rent a trailer, stop into East Grand Forks. GrandTrailersSales.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
Welcome back. We go to our post-game report this evening. Our coverage of Eastern Dakota Conference soccer tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. This one ends in a draw this evening. Fargo, Shanley, and Grand Forks Central tied at 2. As we go to a draw, post-game report tonight brought to you by Spring Advantage and Lake Region State College. Spring Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The difference between Spring Advantage and their competitors is that Spring Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, seed tenders. 2 locations to serve you, Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Spring Advantage, make them a part of your agricultural game plan now and for years to come. And our post-game report brought to you by Lake Region State College in Devils Lake. At Lake Region State College, we change lives. Precision agriculture, law enforcement, nursing. Just a few of the careers that you can find your way into at Lake Region State College. Get done in 2 and start earning. Or take your degree with you and move on to the next one with a 4-year institution anywhere in the North Dakota University system and continue that journey. Campuses in Devils Lake, which is their main campus, also at the Grand Forks Air Force Base, and online at LRSC. Well, Central leading 2-1 late on the benefit of a penalty kick, but Central had a couple of instances where they were beaten defensively down the stretch. One led to a big collision. Carly Holstein ties it on a penalty kick, and Central holds on against a flurry by Shanley at the very end of the game to preserve the draw. And these two teams that are both expecting to be competitive for a spot in the state tournament at the end of the East Region season end up splitting the points tonight here at Cushman Field in Grand Forks. Let's go to our highlights brought to you tonight by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Shanley gets the scoring started 15 minutes into the matchup. Emma Rorick, long-range strike, pity goal that goes up on top to make that a 1-0 lead. Then Central snake bit on a corner tonight. Lauren Reardon had a couple of near misses. That one grazes off the top of the crossbar. And then later, it's Grand Forks Central holding on a big save by Anderson Tibiatowski to hold the 1-0 deficit they were in at the end of the opening half here tonight. And you'll see that one again as Tibiatowski reaches out to make a diving stop at one. We have an opportunity here for the corner, actually for the penalty kick that made it 2-1. We're missing a highlight there, folks. We'll go back and get it for you. That was Mae Dickelman that comes up with that. Here's the save of the night. Actually, two of them. Tibiatowski coming out to confront the ball that would have been a one-on-one play. And then later you'll see this. Molly Flaherty getting loose and Tibiatowski, a huge save that kept that out of the back of the net. But at the end, it'll be Carly Holstein with a penalty kick for Grand Forks Central, actually for a Fargo Shanley, and Holstein's penalty kick ends up making it a 2-2 tie, and that's what led to the draw tonight. And those are your highlights, and they're brought to you tonight by Proceed. Need seen? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. And we want to show you the goal from Rowan Olmstead. For some odd reason, we weren't able to get that in our first time around, but Rowan Olmstead had the first goal of the night for Grand Forks Central, and it was a big one. That goal came in the 48th minute. We'll see if we have it for you here. I want to go ahead and come back to that for Rowan Olmstead and see if we can show you that goal. And here it is. It's a throw-in that's deflected, and Rowan Olmstead coming free in the open field made a great shot going back across the body of Ashlyn Roach. And that will finish off the highlights tonight, brought to you by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Scoring summary in this one tonight with Who Lit the Lamp, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Emma Rorick in the 15th minute for Fargo Shanley, making it 1-0 Deacons. Then Rowan Olmstead in the 48th minute for Grand Forks Central ties it up at 1. And Mae Dickelman, a penalty kick in the 56th minute, made it 2-1 Central. But Carly Holstein with a penalty kick in the 78th minute makes it a 2-2 tie. And we end in a 2-2 draw tonight between the Knights and the Deacons. A final score again of 2-2, and they'll split the points tonight in the standings. Let's take a look at our post-game awards. Our first is the PS Garage Doors Player of the Game Award, and it's brought to you tonight by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. The PS stands for perfect service, and if it's time for service on your garage door this summer, they have you covered at PS Garage Doors. Any make and model of garage door, they can service. And for those of you in agriculture, if it's time for you to bring in a new piece of machinery, they can widen the door frames on your barn and then put the garage door on that fits so that you can keep your machinery protected. Those are high-dollar investments. Protect them with PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks and in Devils Lake. And player of the game tonight for Grand Forks Central, that's got to be Rowan Olmstead scoring the only goal. That wasn't a PK tonight. Olmstead with a great read here in the middle of the field, sending that one to the far side of the net. That's a nice play for Rowan Olmstead. She'll be the PS Garage Doors player of the game award winner. Our Finest Auto Trim, Finest Cover of the Game, brought to you by Finest Auto Trim. Big or small, they cover it all at Finest Auto Trim. It's a defensive award. Finest Auto Trim's ready to get those seats put together. Ice out taking a while this year. You still have time to make sure you can get those seats redone on your boat with Finest Auto Trim. And you have to stop and see them at Demers, 2201 Demers in Grand Forks, to find out how they can make that work for you. But when you hit the water this year, why don't you do it on seats that are newly covered and comfortable and giving you the support that you deserve? And those of you that have got the hot rod that you want to get ready for the upcoming driving season, Finest Auto Trim can help you with that project as well to make sure that the interior looks just as good as the exterior. Finest Auto Trim, big or small, they cover it all. Well, there's no question that has to come down to the very end of the matchup here with a play for Haley Anderson, Tibiatowski. This save on Flaherty getting open here. Tibiatowski preserves at least a point in this one tonight. That's an unbelievable save against a player that is returning all conference. So Haley Anderson, Tibiatowski made some great plays tonight. She'll pick up the finest auto trim, finest cover of the game. And our final award tonight is Northland Community and Technical College with our Goals Against Hunger this evening. Northland Community and Technical College is the place to start your liberal arts degree in East Grand Forks, and they can do it for less money than you would see from a lot of those public institutions and certainly a number of those private institutions as well. The liberal arts degree at Northland Community and Technical College can start you down a number of career paths, and they've partnered with us to help fight hunger in our region by donating dollars for scores this year to the Pioneer Food Pantry. And tonight, Grand Forks Central scores twice. It'll be $2 donated to the Pioneer Food Pantry to help stamp out hunger in our region, and that accumulates throughout the course of the year. Northland Community and Technical College has been doing that throughout the very start of the year back in the fall all the way through the spring, helping to stamp out hunger in our region. Northland Community and Technical College bringing you our Goals Against Hunger tonight. Tomorrow night, we've got two of them for you. We'll have softball downtown at Albrecht Field in Grand Forks, where it'll be the Central Knights and the Red River Rough Riders at 7:30. And it's baseball tomorrow for the East Grand Forks Green Wave and the Prowlers of Thief River Falls. That'll be tomorrow night with a first pitch tomorrow afternoon with the first pitch at 4. Tonight, the Deacons and the Knights play to a 2-2 draw, and a good one that we had in Eastern Dakota Conference Soccer this evening. We thank you for joining us for it. This has been our coverage of high school soccer on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports